He said, "What's the name of God?" Is that what all the confusion is about?
Can I say one more thing, bro?
I'm asking. It's a question. It's a question.
Can I say one more thing, please?
Go ahead,
Please,
go ahead, brother Kevin.
This is what I feel like. You sound so scholar. You sound so scholar. You say this brother, they preach it out the Bible. Bro, I read Deuteronomy. And in Deuteronomy, it tell you everything, dog.
All right. So,
Deuteronomy, it tell you everything.
how do you know you're Israel? How did you figure out you're the Israelites?
I'm Northern Kingdom.
Researching what? What did you research?
You're not deep, you're not God.
Why you keep asking, what do I mean? Am I not asking a plain question?
I can answer that question.
How do you know you're an Israelite?
I did my research and I did on the history and what was taught to me.
What did you research?
I researched the fact that history is
You just named the book a second ago.
Deuteronomy.
You researched Deuteronomy.
I read Deuteronomy.
Did you do the same thing?
No. I researched the whole Bible.
You didn't research Deuteronomy.
Revelation's main spirit led me to GMS.
So the Spirit led you to GMS.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, brother.
I feel bad for you.
Because let's see what that Spirit is. Because I asked him, did he read the Bible? He said no. The Spirit led him. Let me have John 6:63. Because listen. And here's the thing. I want you to think about this. Brother right here. What kind of man would stop the word of God from going out?
All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakurash. Double honors to my apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace of safety to all the sincere Akim, Sahib, pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. All right, Shalom. All right, so I just want to do this quick lesson to a video that was shared in the within my camp here in Atlanta amongst the brothers. And I was recently not finished, but almost finished watching the our camp head's response to it, to the video, and it kind of sparked me to do a response, because when I first saw the clip, I didn't really think much of it until, I guess because it's still early. It's not early, but I'm still in relaxed mode myself per se. So I wasn't really in a sharp mindset yet. So I didn't click that oh, this happened here in Atlanta, with IUIC Atlanta, because in all honesty, I don't really give much thought to IUIC Atlanta. For many reasons, but really, the first reason is the fact that they're not a camp that they're not an in season, out of season kind of camp anyway. So it's not much to them. It's not much thought involved in them. Personally speaking. So I didn't really, like I said, my thoughts was kind of crossed until I saw the bishop's video, and our camp's bishop, and listening to him, and I was like, oh, okay, this is Atlanta. So then I really went back and listened. And, I just want to do a little quick response to what was said, how it was handled from what I heard. And, this is just another example of, there's so much wrong with this video, and I'm going to start with the first thing, which was fresh on my mind. Dealing with the point of, which is in the recording, I should at this point put in front of this video, dealing with the fact that they asked, IUIC asked these brothers if they were, where they find out that they were Israelites from, and they begin to scoff IUIC at the answer that the Spirit, that when they answered it, said the Spirit led them to GMS, all right? And they scoffed at the idea of the Spirit because it has to be, which they're scoffing at the idea of them saying the Spirit led them, right? Which, if you listen closely, it's funny how they'll answer, the main guy speaking answers their question slightly when he does say that the charagma is spiritual. All right, so this is where you like our camp head Atazawan was saying, the fact that you younger men, you should be more in tune with listening to speaking, because there's an art to being able to listen, the art of listening. That is an art that, it takes so many years of training, all right, to understand and get. That's not something that you receive. We're raised in a society where we're based off of emotion, so we speak first, we don't listen, and that's just something that comes with time, all right? But again, if you listen closely, they'll say that the mark is spiritual, but then they scoff at these young men saying that the Spirit led them, you see? So again, this is why there's no point in arguing with these other camps, going out of your way to go to these camps and confront them on their doctrine, because you're not going to convince them. Scriptures say, matter of fact, let me get that. All right. This is 1 Timothy 4:1, and it says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times which we're in, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrine of devils." All right. So us in the know, we're supposed to recognize, okay, this is what's being said right here. In the last days, okay, we're in those last days. All right. Some shall depart from the faith. Okay, we're seeing that. All right. And then how do we go to handle it? All right. Now reading on verse 2, it says, "Speaking lies and hypocrisies." All right. And that's a lie and a hypocrisy. They're an actor. One sentence they're saying this. One sentence they're saying that. One sentence they're saying keep the law. But then exposing videos from within their own organization is now coming out saying they're defrauding men. They're stealing, taking advantage. All right, which is clearly against the law. The scriptures say, steal not one from another. All right. Thou shalt not steal, or you're not supposed to defraud your neighbor. You're not supposed to do those things. All right. So one sentence there, the law. Then the next sentence, this is what's going on behind the scenes. All right. So we understand that this is speaking to men as such as them. Now, as a person with understanding, your best bet is to leave people like that alone, because the scriptures already speak of people like that. All right, so I'm going to let the scripture speak. This says, "Speaking lies and hypocrisies, having their conscience seared with an hot iron." All right, their conscience is seared. That's on them. All right, if the apostles and the elders and all the men of Great Millstone have done countless hours of videos to give awareness to them in the spirit of what is going on, and they don't want to hear it, what makes you think you 2 to 3 men, I don't know if it's 2 of you or 3 of you, but I'll just say the 2 of you, all right, and the only reason I'm addressing it is because, like as the bishop said, you claim to be in GMS, or not claim to be. I won't put those words up. You say you come under the study of Great Millstone, all right. So therefore, you acknowledge that that's where the truth is. You acknowledge the name, you acknowledge the doctrine, but you take it upon yourself to go out of your way to go out and link up with men that teach something contrary than to come find the men that you claim that you learn under. And you can't say, and if you do, then that's all out of order and that's wicked. If you say, well, I just listen to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Well, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that you claim to be followers of have anointed or ordained men to be over this area. All right, there's an order to things, man. See, a lot of you men, and I'm not saying I don't know these men personally. All right, I don't know these men personally. All right, but there's just that spirit of a lot of men just think that they can watch. They watch 3 months of videos, 6 months of videos, a year of videos. They take a little bit of their work money, go to Michael's or Joann's fabric store, make a garment, make a YouTube channel that put them on some level, man. All right. You're treading in waters that you shouldn't be. See, a lot of you men, you don't even have enough. There's a lot to this thing, and I speak on this story, and if I could be incorrect, all right. So if I am incorrect, and if that brother, I don't know, because that's not my region. You know, the scriptures speak about meddling not in many affairs, so I don't know the affair fully. All right, but I remember many years ago, you had this guy that was claiming the same thing, claiming to be Great Millstone. I think it was in Memphis or in Tennessee. And when Nate decided to go down there, he decided on his own, without checking in with anybody, without doing the right protocols and so on and so forth. He took it upon himself that he was going to go down there to Nate. And I believe that spirit of Nate ended up wooing him. And I think he ended up leaving and going to join IUIC. All right. This thing is spiritual, man. All right. Verse 3, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which the Most High have created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and knoweth the truth. All right. So that's the spirit that they bring, you know. In the forefront, they push this holier than thou spirit, but behind the scenes, there's some they show themselves to just be out of order, man. All right. Now I want to deal with this point too before I close up soon. The fact of them saying that they received the knowledge through the spirit. All right. And IUIC scoffing and saying it's all the research. All right. First of all, it's the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that leads you to even opening to seeing if you're an Israelite or not. That all this very steps starts with Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Now, bear me 1 second. Let me get a scripture on that. This is all right. Proverbs 3:6. All right. And it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. All right. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. It's the Lord that directs our paths. All right. It's not of your will. It is not of your research. And that's why IUIC and so many other camps. All right. All right. Really, all of you camps outside of Great Millstone. All right. You don't have the salt, man. Your speech is not seasoned with salt and grace. All right. It's not, because you don't have the spirit. You think it's all about. It's all wicked technicalness, if that makes sense. Like I did a lesson recently about being more technical because it's a skill. But they treat it as if, for instance, you know how if you know about sports, like let's just say basketball, you have certain basketball players, they just have a natural dribble. It's like Chris Paul has a natural dribble. You know, an even better example, Jamal Crawford has a natural dribble. All right, his dribble, it's like the ball in his hand is connected. Now, did he work to get there? Of course. So he's technically advanced. Of course, if you take Jamal Crawford on the court and you have him do drills, he's going to do those drills because he's skilled. But then you have those Edomite-based coaches, and they're just like, all right, and all 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's not how this thing is. This thing is the fluidity of the spirit is not such, man. All right. You can't just be in the mind frame of, all right, he asked this question, give him this answer. All right. Oh, he said that. You say this. IUIC act like a bunch of Edomites, man. Black Edomites. All right. Now I'm going to read this too. This is Tobit 4:19. And it says, bless the Lord thy power always, and desire of him thy ways may be directed, that all thy paths and counsel may prosper. For every nation hath not counsel, but the Lord himself giveth all things, and he humbleth whom he will as he will. And he will humble who he will as he will, because it's a humbling thing when you receive this word. It is not because you decided to go buy some historical book. You got a lot of Israelites out here, all right, with 1,000 books. You got a lot of Jake in general, thousands of historical books. You know, they take pride in their library, but so what? So what? All right, I'm going to finish the scripture. I'm going to get a scripture on that real quick. Back in Tobit 4:9. All right, it says, for every nation have not counsel, but the Lord himself giveth all good things, and he humbleth whom he will as he will. Now, therefore, my son, remember my commandments, neither let them be put out of thy mind. And one of those commandments is to go out and teach this word on the highways and byways in season and out of season. All right. IUIC neglects that commandment. All right. IUIC neglects the importance of the name commandment. All right. So we ain't dealing with them. Let the just be unjust still. All right. Now, I'm going to get another scripture on that. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 12:12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. All right, so one point here is Jake think because they got a whole shelf of books like Jake have Jordans that make them special, man. Now, all knowledge is if it's not supporting the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, then it's all emptiness, man. All right. So the Most High is not going to bless you because you have all those books. The book that he wants you to understand is this one. Now, granted, we do read books. Not telling not to read books, but there's a spirit behind it. It all has to be in balance. Jake is so broken down in their life that they just try to look for any and everything as a point to show them their might in something. Yeah, this is me over here. You see me, man. So what, man? All right. No, wisdom is knowing when and when not to when to show your knowledge and when to conceal your knowledge. All right, that's wisdom, man. Every moment is not a moment to show out your know. Okay. All right. Now, I want to go from there to Romans 8. All right, Romans 8:16. All right, and it reads, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right, we are Israelites. All right, the Spirit, not a book, not a pamphlet. All right, not a camp. All right, it's the Spirit that leads you to the man, as it tells us in Romans, the 10th chapter, because again, don't get simple. All right. Because that's what happens with a lot of Jake. They move in this spirit of, and I hope these men don't. All right. If they truly say that their underlings are study under the tutelage of Great Millstone, and they live here in Atlanta, why don't we know you? Now, granted, there's other brothers that aren't necessarily in Great Millstone that go out and teach. All right. But they come out and they listen. All right. They come out and they listen and we build, and we don't know where the Spirit's going to take it. But nevertheless, it's still a thing of, hey, man, I want to know who knows what I know or what I'm learning from. I want to know the men that are under that setting. I don't need to go and talk to ISUPK, IUIC, Sakari. I don't need to talk to them. I want to talk to the men of the Lord, So if the Spirit bear witness to you that that's the case, and the Spirit led you that you're an Israelite and that you should learn under these men, all right, going into Romans 10. I just get that since I'm in the book of Romans. This is Romans 10, All right, Romans 10 and where are you? Bear me 1 second. I might be in the wrong chapter. Bear me 1 second. I know I'm in Romans. I'm probably in the right chapter. Yeah, I'm always do that. Romans 10 and 14. And all right, I'm gonna start at 13. Romans 10 and 13. And it reads, "For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be received." And I believe that those young men that they believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I believe they believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I believe they do believe that the truth is out of Great Millstone. And I believe that they just are fervent, but they just got if they see this, just know you have to control that, man. All right. And from experience, not to put myself all the way out there, it takes greater men than you, all right, to tame your ferventness sometimes. Sometimes your ferventness is too much for you to tame by yourself. So you need additional help to control your hotness. Sometimes when, for instance, you don't cook all your, when you cooking, like, let's just say you roasting a lamb, right? You need the fire to be at a consistent low heat, low coals. All right. You can't roast a whole lamb under 500-degree heat. It'll cook too fast. It'll dry out. It'll burn. You want it under that nice solid 225, 250, 300 the most temperature. And so you can cook that lamb leg or the whole lamb for hours. That's what you want. You don't want to cook it fast because that'll dry it out. So again, you need somebody to tame your fire so that you'll age properly in this thing. You'll become a savory you'll be a savory your sacrifice will be a savory smell unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, not a smell of burnt carcass. All right, spiritually. All right. Verse 14. And it says, "How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?" All right. "And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher?" So the Spirit of the Lord is the one that's leading it all. But the Most High will lead you in the Spirit to the right place, or he'll lead you to the wrong place. A lot of men are led to the wrong places. All right. Because they're undesired. All right. All right. Verse 15. "And how shall they preach except they be sent?" So it all starts with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai through the Spirit. The Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai sends out those men that are going to teach those other men to come under. That's how it works. And that's how it's always worked. And that's how it's going to work. It's just that simple. Okay. "And how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things." And this truth of ours is not about just debating, man. Debating and, every time somebody says something, you looking to just do a response. Nah, do a lesson. See, and another thing too, and this is not attacking them, but this is just attacking that spirit. You don't got no goddamn business debating nobody. If a fellow Israelite, if another man comes to you and asks you simple questions and you can't answer them, all right, and break it down, you shouldn't be doing that. You should, if you young in this thing, first year, 2, 3 years or so, just get the understanding. Get the understanding of do you understand the hell doctrine? Do you understand that the Lord was not immaculately conceived? Do you understand that the history, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Do you understand the history? Do you understand these things? Jake just want to get to hey, get me Revelation 1 and 3 real quick. Bro, it ain't even about that, man. A little wind come on your little branches, it blow you over, man. It's about being rooted. Get rooted. All right. If you go to camp and all you do is bring out one scripture, but you rooted in faith in Mashiach Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you better off than a man with 1,000 words. All right. So I'm going to close this up. I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to go ahead and say shalom.